Number 2. A wall tile is 2 different colors. What is the area of the white part of the tile? Explain how you found your answer. What is the white part of the tile? What kind of shape is that?
The top is supposed to be colored.
Yeah, color. Just shade it in a little bit. Okay. What is the white part? What shape is that?
Triangle.
Okay, what is my formula for a triangle? Write it down with me. A equals what?
A equals
1/2 base times height. Now I need to plug it in. So I'm going to rewrite it. A equals 1/2. What's my base? 5.5, because this is the same as the top one. What is my height? 4, because it's parallel to my base. Okay, now I'm going to keep moving everything down. What's 5.5 times 4?
We can take a half of 4.
Oh, I'm not. So do it with me. What do I get? 22. Now, a lot of you said 22 was the answer. How come? You forgot the half. Now, if I plug it into my formula and follow it down, can I see that I still have one more step?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's why you need to plug it in and follow it down. Keep following it down with me, please. Half of 22 is what? 11. So the area is 11 what? Inches squared. Now, some of you forgot to move your decimal out and in, so you said 110. Some of you moved your decimal too far, so you said 1.1. Be careful. Put the formula in for each thing. I need to get to 36. Okay, and it is a triangle. So what's my formula?
A equals 1/2
1/2 base times height. Okay, I'm going to do it for 3A. So I'm going to say A equals 1/2. Make sure you're following all of this down. You're not taking shortcuts. B is 12 times 3. I'm going to take half of 12, which is what? I'm going to bring everything down. What's 6 times 3? 18. So is that 36? No. Okay, I'm going to do it for 3B. So write it again. A equals 1/2 BH. Just writing it down and then doing other work somewhere else, that's not writing it down and following it. Okay, so make sure you write it down and plug it in. So what is my base on this one?
24.
Times what?
3.
3. Okay, make sure you're writing exactly what I'm writing. Let's take half of 24, which is? Okay, what's 12 times 3? 36. So is that correct? Yes. Okay, let's do the next one. 3C. A equals 1/2 B times H. I don't care if you've already written it for the other two. Write it again. Plug it in. A equals 1/2 base 18 times 4. Follow it down. What's 1/2 of 18? 9 times 4. What's 9 times 4? 36. So is that correct? Yes. Okay, next one. A equals 1/2 base times height. Plug it in. What's my base? 9. What's my height? 4. Let's take 1/2 of 4. A equals 9 times 2, which is what? 18. So is that 36? No. Okay. Mario traced this trapezoid, then he cut it out and arranged to form a rectangle. What is the area of the rectangle? Can you please underline what it's asking? What is the area of the rectangle? Now I told you could do it two ways on this. We could find the area of the trapezoid and then double it, right? Or we could just find the area of the rectangle. So if this is 4 inches here and I flip it, this will be 4 here and this will be 10 here. So then I would have to add. So actually, let's do the trapezoid first. So let's say area equals, make sure you're writing this, 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height. All right, A equals, let's plug it in. What's base 1? 10's fine. What's base 2? 4, and my height is 8. Okay, I have to do what's in parentheses first, then bring everything down. Don't skip a step, please. Write it exactly how I'm writing it. What's 1/2 of 14? 7 times 8. So what's 7 times 8?
56.
Okay, what's it asking me for though? The rectangle. So I found half the rectangle. So if I have half the rectangle, what do I need to do? Multiply this by 2. And I get what? 112. Now I also could have added these together and said, and do this one with me. We're going to do a different formula, so write it. A equals base times height. So I could have said my base is 14. If I added those two together, 14 times 8. So area equals 14 times 8 is 112. Okay, let's put the formula in here. This says the area of the triangle is 24 feet. So I know I'm what? What is my formula? Yeah, I'm using a triangle. A equals 1/2 B times H. Write down your formula first. Now let's plug in what we know. We know 24 equals 1/2 B times H. I don't know my base and my height yet. So if I have these things right here, and I need to, if they're half of that and then they equal 24, what could I put in there that if I took half of that, it would equal 24? What do you think? 6 and 8. What's 6 times 8?
48.
48. So if I took a half of 48, I would get 24. So this would be 6 times 8. I don't really think it matters which one's which as long as it's 6 and 8. This one. A regular plastic bookmark has a triangle cut out. Can you please box these words? Cut out. What does cut out mean? I take it away, which means what? I'm going to subtract. Okay, please use some of your key words. Subtract. Okay, so first I have to find the area of a rectangle, so I'm going to put A equals B times H. Make sure you write the formula. Do it with me. Do what I'm doing. Okay, what's my base? 5. What's my height? 2. So area equals what? 10. Make sure you have exactly what I have written. We've plugged it in and followed it all the way down. So the area of the rectangle is what? 10 inches what? Squared. Now, let me find the area of the triangle. So A equals 1/2 base times height. Okay, let's plug it in. Area equals 1/2. 1 times 1. So area equals 1/2. What's 1 times 1? 1. Okay, so what's 1/2 of 1? Now, if I didn't know, I know that this is multiply. So I could say 1/2 times 1 over 1. And I get what? 1/2. Right? So what's 1/2 of 1? 1/2, which I know is what? And if I didn't know that, I could put 1 in the box and divide by 5. Or divide by 2, I mean. And I would get 0.5. So I know the area of the triangle is 0.5 or 0.5 what? Inches squared. Now I want to cut out that part, so I'm subtracting. So I'm going to take 10 minus 0.5. Now when I subtract, I have to line up my decimals. I'm going to take a 1 there, make this a 10, take a 9, and make this a 10. What's 10 minus 5? And 9. So this is 9.5 what? Inches squared. Okay, trapezoid has an area of 32 inches squared. If the lengths of the base are 6 inches and 6.8 inches, what is the height? Okay, can you please box this word? What does it say? What's my formula for trapezoid? Area equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times h. Now, what does it tell me for sure? Area, so I'm going to plug that in for area. 32 equals 1/2. What else does it tell me for sure? My bases are 6 plus 6.8 times height. Now I don't know the height. So then I'm going to follow this down. Now how many of you halved 6? Anybody? I thought I had a couple people who didn't do this first. It's in parentheses, so I have to make sure I do it first. So this is 12.8, right? Which I can do in my head, which is fine if you do stuff like that in your head as long as you follow it down. Okay, bring everything down. Now what do I have to do? Take a half of 12.8. So on the side, I'm going to say 12.8, and I'm going to divide that by 2, and I get 60, or 6.4. Now bring everything down that you haven't used. Okay, now how do I get h by itself? I have to divide 6.4 on one side, other side. So now I'm going to put 32 in the box and divide by 6.4. I have to, on the side, slide. And 64 can go into 320. Five. And I get 320, and I get 0. So this is 5 equals h. So my height is what? 5 inches. It's a house, but with slanted walls. Okay. Not a perfect pentagon. Draw it with me. Then put a dot in the middle. Pentagon has 5 sides. Okay, now usually they'll tell us the base and the height, and then we have to find the area of one triangle. But this actually does it for me, so this was actually fairly easy. It told me the area of each triangle is 22. So then I'm going to put 22 in each one of these to remind myself what they are. And so then I can say what? 22 times 5. And I get what? 110 what?
Inches squared.
Inches squared. That one was fairly easy, right?
I didn't do that.
Okay, so it just wants to know what expression. So what I'm going to do is, I know this is a trapezoid because it tells me for one. Okay, so I'm going to hurry and write the formula. So let's do it. A equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times h. And then I'm just going to hurry and plug in these numbers over here. So I'm going to say area equals 1/2. What's my base 1? 4.5 plus 2 times h. And that's really as far as I have to go for a minute. So then I can look and see which one of these is that, right? So 1/2, 4.5 plus 2, or 2 plus 4.5. So I know that one looks like this one. All right? Now, if I added these two together, I could get what? 6. That's not right, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Never mind. 6.5, because I have to line up the decimals. So I would get 6.5. So this one actually says that. It just has 6.5, 1/2, 6.5 times 5. Oh, I need to put a 5 there. Okay, all right. Okay, so this has 8 sides. I'm going to go from corner to middle. And I have perfectly straight lines. They look awesome. Okay. So, I know, right?
I love it.
I know. Okay, so I know this has 8 sides, so it is a... Okay, now, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be octagon on the test. It's probably going to be another shape. So make sure you know your shapes. Okay, now I need to find area. So all I have to do is find the area of one triangle. I don't know what I just did there. Okay, so I'm finding the area of a triangle. So what is my formula? A equals 1/2 base times height. Okay, now let's plug it in. 1/2. What's my base?
5,
What's my height?
22.
All right. So area equals, I know a lot of you took half of 6.2. So 5 times 3.1, right? So 3.1 times 5. 5, 15. Some of you forgot to move out, move in. So it should be 15.5. But what is 15.5? Is that the whole shape? No. How many of you stopped at 15.5? Anybody? Oh, good. I'm glad. Okay, so let's do 15.5 times 8, because it's 8 sides. 440. Okay, now I have a decimal, so move out, move in. So what is my area? 124 what? Inches squared. How many of you got it wrong because you did not put inches squared? A few of you. Yep. Chart, so do it. Again. Chart. Some of you didn't make a chart and then you weren't able to keep track of everything. So I have a rectangle, and a triangle. Okay, so let's find this rectangle first. So I know my, what is my formula for rectangle? Area equals base times height. Let's plug it in. Area equals, what's my base?
14.
Okay, I know my base from here to here is 14. All right? So what is it from here to here? What is it?
24.
It's 10. So what's 14 plus 10?
24.
24. So now I have 24 times 7. What is 24 times 7? 168. So I know this top rectangle is 168. Okay, how many of you got it wrong because you times it by 14? You didn't see that there was 2 pieces there. Okay, let's just keep going then. Let's go to the next rectangle, which is this one. So let's write down the formula. Some of you only wrote the formula down for the first one and not the second one. So make sure you write it for each thing that you're finding. Okay, let's plug it in. Area equals, what's my base? What's my height? 12. What's 14 times 12? 168. How many of you were confused because they were both the same? Guess what? They can have the same area. One's just stretched out and one's a little bit squished in, right? So they can have the same formula even though they're different shapes. Okay. So this is, or same answer, I mean not formula. That is 168. Now let's do our triangle. So write it, please. Area equals 1/2 base times height. Plug it in. What's my base? What's my base right here?
It would be 12.
No, it would be 10.
10.
Yeah, sorry.
There's my base because it hits with the right angle, right? So then this is 12 because this side's 12. So this side's 12. So 10 times 12, which I get what? 120, but I have to bring down what I haven't used. What's 1/2 of 120? 60. So my triangle is 60. Now I have to add all these together. So do it with me, please. 168, 168, and 60. Write them all. Let's add them. 8 plus 8 is? Okay, 6 times 3 is? 18 plus 1? And 1 plus 1 plus 1? 3. So my total is what? 396 what? Feet squared. Okay? Yeah, it wants me to make it a parallelogram. So I know I'm going to go, because my parallel lines, I'm going to count my parallel lines. So that is 1 and 2. So then I'm going to go 1 and 2 over and make that a parallelogram. Okay. Now I know the length of JK. Now, we have to be a little bit careful about this. Okay, so this right here is K. Okay. It wanted to know the length of JK, not anything else. I think one person put it's 2 going across, but then it's 3 going down. But that's not what it's not asking for KI. It's just asking for J to K. All right, and I know it's 2 because H and I are 2 also, and that's the parallel. All right. A lot of most people got this one correct.
I got this one.
Okay. It wants to know 0.32 and it's changed to 3-1 on the rectangle. So I'm going to go over to 3-2. So this one is 3-2 right here. And it wants me to change it to 3-1. So if I change that to 3-1, then I'm going to bring this one down also. So I changed so it can still be a rectangle, right? So I brought that one down. So this is -2, 1. -2, +1. Nope. Sorry.
-2.
-2, +2. It started at -2, +2 right here. And then I brought it down to -2, +1. I went from here to here. Okay, on this one. This is the one I'm looking at. Now, this is 1, 2, 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 15. Or I could have counted these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and so it's 15 square units. Okay, this one wasn't too hard. All it wants to know is how can I find the area of one of the triangles. I'm going to cut, whoops, all you had to say is something like cut the parallelogram. Write this with me. In half, or you could have say divided it by 2. Okay, 19. I have a parallelogram. Let's write the formula. What's the formula for a parallelogram? A equals base times height. Now, what does it tell me for sure?
The area.
The area is 110.5, so I'm going to plug that in for area. What is my base? 13 times height. How do I get h by itself? I'm going to divide by 13. Did you guys do this on the calculator?
I did it.
So if I put 110.5 in the box and I divide by 13, what do I get? So this is 8. What's 13 times 8? 104. And then I get 65. And 13 can go on to 65 how many times? 5 times? So it was 8.5, and it's meters because it's height, not area. Okay, all this is asking, it wants to know the fourth vertex of a square. And it also wants to know the fourth vertex of a trapezoid. One of these is going to be a yes for a square. One of these is going to be yes for a trapezoid. Some of you put no on all of them, and I'm like, wait a minute. There has to be a 2 yeses, 2 no's, okay? So if I put -1 and -1, would that work for a square? Yes. Right? If I put...
It's -1 and positive.
Oh, you're right. No. Yeah, okay. Oh, this is why it's hard, is because they split up the trapezoids and the squares. Okay, never mind. I totally did that wrong. Just like a lot of you. Okay, so here we go. -1 and +1. Is that a square? No. So this is false. Square. It's asking for a square. On the first one. Okay, that would be a trapezoid, but that's not a square. Okay, then I'm going to come down here to just this square one so I can find the right square. So if it was -1 and -1, would that be a square? Yes. Okay, now let's find the trapezoid one. Okay, if I put 1 and 1, would that be a trapezoid? What's the definition of a trapezoid? No, not 2. 1 pair of parallel lines. Look, there is 1 pair of parallel lines there, right here and right here. So that is true, right? 1 and 1? Oh my gosh, see, I did it wrong again! No wonder why we keep doing this. 1 and 1 is right here, sorry.
That's what I did.
Okay. And there are not 2 pairs of parallel sides there. So then, but if we did, so this one is false. Okay, but if we did 2 and -1, look, I have a parallel line here and a parallel line here, so that is a trapezoid.